Hello, hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for our weekly office hours this week. Even though it is a holiday and we're trying to get into the eggnog and turkey and all those goodies, we are we're definitely still chugging along here um, with these office hours. Today, we're going to be digging into how to create ABM landing pages using AssetMule. Um, and if you do have any questions or comments or feedback, go ahead and add those to the comments section. You're probably watching this on YouTube or LinkedIn, and we'll definitely be monitoring that throughout today's session. Also, if you're interested in our content, go ahead. You might have seen that we had the Go to Market Pack podcast graphic on here. Definitely check that out. It's got tons of content. We got over 100 different. God, what are we at now? I don't even know, but it's just well over 100 of episodes that are already live with some of the best and brightest go-to-market professionals. You can see here, check that out. And it's very exciting. We have plenty more coming up. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to my co-founder and CEO, Justin Dorfman. One thing to keep in mind too is if you have an super urgent question, like you got to go to like lunch or whatnot, and can't
Cook a turkey.
yeah, go and
Start
cook.
cooking turkey.
Yeah, then just let us know. Be like, hey, I got this question. I know there are a couple of folks who signed up on Eventbrite, so just recently. So if again for y'all folks, if you're in a time crunch, just let us know. We'll get to your questions right away. If not, we will get to the questions at the end of the Q&A section here, which is towards the end of the session. So I'm really, really, really excited about this topic for a lot of reasons. But Justin, why don't you take it away, show us, and folks, I'm also going to post in the comments area a couple links to some articles that we've been writing about ABM. So yep, let's rock and roll.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm super excited about this use case for a couple different reasons. One, I'm a huge believer in account-based marketing, and we can talk a little bit more about, for those that aren't familiar, what account-based marketing is and how it's being used and why it's so effective. But big believer in this practice. But also, this is one of those cases where we didn't necessarily intend to build AssetMule for this use case. I mean, it's definitely something that we thought that it would be a good application to account-based marketing, but specifically ABM landing pages, I think, was something that we just started seeing our customers using the product for. And when that happens, it's really like a magical moment, right? Where you're like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Um, you know, uh, but your view now is expanded in terms of the type of use cases your product can be used for. So it's as a founder, it's a really special thing to see that happen. But in terms of account-based marketing, so for those that aren't familiar, account-based marketing is essentially putting a focused emphasis on a certain number of very high value accounts, right? So generally speaking, when you're doing account-based marketing, you've done some research, you've figured out sort of the profile of company, industry company persona that leads to success with your platform, and success both in terms of the value they're getting out of your product, but also that translates into, your ability to convert meetings with these types of accounts, your ability to turn those meetings into pipeline and eventually into revenue and bring them on as customers. But also beyond bringing them on as customers, the sort of retention with those accounts and the expansion and upgrades that you see in those type of accounts far outweigh other types of accounts. So as a result of seeing all that success that you're having with this profile of company, a lot of companies are now creating these named account lists, right, of 50, 100, 500 accounts that they're hyper focused on engaging, converting, and acquiring as customers. So that's really what ABM is it's sort of focusing your marketing efforts on these specific high value named accounts. And the way that our customers have started to use AssetMule is essentially creating these personalized landing pages for each one of those named accounts, right? So, spinning up a page for, if you're going after SaaS companies in the sales and marketing space, maybe it's like, the HubSpots of the world and the sort of Salesforces of the world, and creating very personalized and customized experiences with the goal of increasing engagement and conversion from those accounts. So they're basically building these landing pages for these accounts and then driving traffic to the landing pages using both targeted ads, but also targeted outbound, right? Putting these landing pages in the hands of the SDR and the sales team and having them do the outreach alongside those targeted ads, and then ultimately converting those accounts, the traffic from those accounts into booked meetings by making it really easy to book demos from that page with CTA buttons and including the salesperson's calendar on the page and so on. And we'll walk through the template in more detail. So that's kind of the way that they've been using these landing pages. And what's really interesting about this use case is, we know it can be challenging sometimes, to get your sales team to use the assets that you've created for them. And in this use case, you don't necessarily have to rely on that, right? Especially if you're using those targeted ads to drive traffic from those accounts to these pages. You don't need to have your sales team doing the outreach as well. I would argue that it's better, right? And your chances of converting the meeting are higher if you're doing both strategies, targeted ads and targeted outbound. But if it's really, really hard to get the sales team to use the assets, you can start with the targeted ads, start delivering those booked meetings to the sales team, and use that as an opportunity to continue that momentum by getting them on board with sending the outbound as well. Right. So anyway, we'll dive deeper into all of these different things here. But today, what we're going to be doing is walking through a template that we recently added to our AssetMule template library based on this use case, based on seeing the success that our customers have been having with it, and really with the goal of making it really easy for you to start running these plays as well, right? And build your own ABM landing pages in minutes without needing any designers or development resources, and start really taking your account-based marketing strategy to the next level. So with that, let me share my screen and we're going to walk through the template. And I'm going to start by walking you through the template itself, but then I'll show you a version of that template with content in it that we're using ourselves at AssetMule. But for those that are sort of newer to AssetMule, really quick, what we do is we make it really quick and easy for product marketing teams or marketers in general, and sales folks as well, to create more interactive, personalized, and engaging sales assets. So anything from, you'll see one pagers to case studies and competitive pages, decks, proposals, really making these very, very quick. You can pull in your brand colors, your fonts, add your content to them, and in just a matter of minutes, have a new asset that you can start sending to prospects. And again, these are made to be personalized, engaging. They include things like video and interactive demos and calendars in them to drive more engagement and conversions. But then we also can track all those interactions that your prospects are having on the page. And beyond our own template library, you can create your own custom templates as well, using a library of pre-designed components that you can just sort of drag and drop onto the canvas. Like video components and pricing tables and competitive tables and things like that. But as I mentioned today, we're now sort of expanding beyond the traditional sales assets to sales and marketing assets, including the new ABM landing page template. So if you were to log into AssetMule today and you wanted to use this template, you can find it in the template section if you are filtered by AssetMule, our own template library here. And you can start using this template, making it your own by just copying the template, clicking that icon right there. And you'll see from the get-go here, this is pulling in AssetMule's brand colors and fonts because we've set up our own AssetMule theme here. But you can easily create your own theme just by putting in your website URL here. And this will then pull in your brand colors and your fonts to the template. And you can start building on top of it with your own brand look and feel. But for today, I'm just going to walk through it as if it's for AssetMule. And I'm just going to walk sort of top to bottom. So you'll see it starts with this, again, the idea here is to make this personalized, right, for each account. So you can start by putting in your brand logo here. And again, you can do that just by putting in a website URL, if it's AssetMule, AssetMule.ai, and we will help you find a bunch of logos that you can pull in. If we can't find a great logo or you have another logo that you rather use, you can easily upload your logos as well. And then you'll want to leave the space on the right-hand side open so that as you're building pages, live landing pages from this template, you can easily and quickly pull in the logo for each one of your named accounts that you're going to be targeting with this page. Continuing down, we have, the sort of main value statement, right? And here you're going to want to put in the name of the account, hey HubSpot or hey HubSpot team in that example that I gave. Want to learn how we can help you, and then whatever the sort of main jobs to be done or goal you help them achieve with your product. And you'll see a subhead here where you can add some names of some customers that you're already helping achieve this goal or solve that problem. And then alongside that, there's a space for a video. And here you can put a product demo video if you'd like, but really where we've seen a lot of success is doing a quick 30-second or so Loom recording from the salesperson that owns that account. It's a great way to add a human touch and again, really capture the attention of the viewer here, of the account team member that is looking at the page, with a salesperson introducing themselves, welcoming the account to their personalized page, and kind of walking them through a little bit, what you've put on this page for them to look at and consider, right? And again, you can record that in Loom and just drop in the URL to the Loom video here, and it will be embedded on the page. Continuing down, you can put in some logos here of some relevant customers that are already using your product today and experiencing success. And then you can highlight the main problem that you solve and that should be familiar to this account, assuming that they're experiencing that problem, and how you can help solve that problem for them with your solution. And again, next to these, there's places for images that you can just upload, maybe screenshots of your product or just, graphics and things that bring that these points to life. And then really cool here is to go beyond just text and actually include a walkthrough of your product. And you'll see here, we've actually included a Story Lane component. So if you're not familiar with Story Lane is an interactive demo product where you can create product tours that viewers can walk through the product step by step and really take a tour and get a feel. So if you're a user of Story Lane, you can just use the share URL to your demo that you've built in Story Lane and add it here, and then that demo will be embedded in the page. If you're not a Story Lane user, you can get started for free and actually build your first demo for free, and it's a free forever plan. And just a couple minutes, have a demo that you can include in here. If you use another interactive demo product like a Novatic or Walnut or Howdy Go, there's a lot of really great interactive demo tools out there. You can remove our Story Lane component, instead choose our embed code component and embed the code for that demo in that component to render it on the page. Or again, if you're not using interactive demos at all, but you do have a demo video, product demo video, you can again remove the Story Lane component and add the video component instead, and add that video here instead of the interactive demo. Continuing down, we want to provide some social proof now as well, right? So adding a customer testimonial here, a customer quote, and again, really thinking about a relevant customer, same industry, maybe same persona, speaking about the most relevant use cases here. And then if you have a testimonial video, that makes it even better because it really brings these stories to life. And again, you can just put like a YouTube URL here, for instance, to add that video here. And then, some results, right? Obviously you've now shown the product, you've now, given some social proof in terms of a customer, and now you want to talk about the types of results, the KPIs, the metrics that these customers are experiencing with your solution, and that this target account would love to experience as well. So highlight those here. And then, as I mentioned, the idea here is to really convert these into book meetings. So including your calendar. This is a Calendly, but you can include a Chili Piper, a HubSpot calendar, really anyone that gives you this embed code. This is just our embed code component. You can put in here so that the target accounts can book meetings with your salesperson right from the page. So that's the walkthrough of the template. As I mentioned, I want to show you what it looks like with content in it. So I'm going to head over to the assets section. Actually, before I do that, when you create this template in your account, if I were to save this one, for instance, if you go back to the templates page and now you toggle by your team tab, you'll see that new template that you have here. And now you can start creating versions of it for each of your accounts, right? And that's what I've done here, where we've got this one for HubSpot. And really what I did was I had put all our content into the template, created an asset from that template, and now filled in the gaps, right? I added the HubSpot logo just by putting in their URL, HubSpot.com here. And then, as you'll see, AssetMule just gave me a bunch of logos that I could choose from and pull it into the page. I then, filled out HubSpot team in that spot there, and then added my video in, right, with the Loom. I did a quick Loom video and just pasted in the URL there. So now I have this great video welcoming the HubSpot team to their page and kind of walking them through everything that's on it. I've got my string of logos here. And again, depending on the pages that you're building, you may have different logos that you want to pull. So we do have this concept of a snippet library, where as you're building out your templates and you're putting in logos here, you can save different versions as snippets just by giving them a name, maybe adding some tags around industry persona or groups of target accounts, and then being able to pull in the right ones to the page very easily. I've got those problem statements and our solution and how we can help solve it. I've got my Storylane interactive demo. So we do use Storylane. So I've added that demo in here where they're going to be able to take the tour of the product right from the page. I've got the great customer quote here from our customer Parsable, the stats, right? And then finally my calendar in here so they can book the meeting. So really what you're going to be doing is creating that baseline template. And then from there, it's really quick and easy to spin these up. Just adding the logo, adding the account name, and then popping in maybe the video here. And the rest of it should be relatively templatized. Again, you can swap a couple things in and out, but it shouldn't take more than 1 to 3 minutes to sort of create these for each one of your accounts, and get 20, 50 of these up and going. And then now you can start driving traffic to these pages. So, if you're going to be doing ad targeting, you can go ahead and grab the live link to this page, and I'll show you what the page looks like live, but you can, go to the share button, grab the link, add that to your ad platform, and that's going to be sort of where you're driving ads to. But also in parallel to that, if you want your SDR team, if you want to put this in the hands of your SDR team or your AEs and have them do targeted outreach to these accounts, they can do it from the link and screenshot, or the real sort of popular one here is this link and animated screenshot. And you'll see why. Just grab it by clicking on it, and then the sales team can pop it into their email, whether they're sending an email from Gmail like I am here, or one of their sales engagement tools like Outreach or SalesLoft. And you'll see it's this really awesome visual scroll through of the page, where the receiver is going to be able to see their HubSpot logo in there. They're going to see the HubSpot name. They're going to see that there's a personalized video in there, really drawing them into the page. And then when they land on the page, this is what they're going to see, right? They're going to see that tailored page for them, right? The logo, calling out their team, the personalized video here for them with a human touch that they can watch, right? a book a meeting button if they want to sort of book a meeting here, or if they want to continue scrolling down the page, they can see all the other content that you put on the page for them, including that demo, interactive demo here that they can click through, the testimonial, the stats, and then if they're ready again, they can go ahead and book a meeting right from the page. And what's great about all of this is as your target accounts are engaging with their landing pages, we're tracking all of that. So the salesperson is going to get a real-time notification, as you'll see here, that somebody just viewed the AssetMule for HubSpot page. So our target accounts are on the page, they're checking out, they're engaging. But also what you'll see is within AssetMule, a detailed sort of timeline of all the interactions that they had on the page. They viewed the page, they checked out the video, they clicked through the demo, right? And ultimately, maybe they booked a meeting, right? We got that meeting with HubSpot, let's see how we're doing with our other accounts. So that's really the walkthrough. And as you can see, really, really like creative and interesting strategy that our customers have started to use AssetMule for, but really makes a ton of sense. And this is live today, so you can log into AssetMule today. Go to the template library, build your template for your ABM landing page, and then start spinning up versions for each one of your target accounts in minutes without needing any designers, development resources. Get those ads up and running and start driving traffic to the pages. Get these in the hands of your SDRs and your sales team and start doing targeted outbound and really start converting meetings and generating pipeline from your most important, highest value accounts. Something, it's a great strategy to start implementing and look to implement as we think about 2025, which is right around the corner, right? So I'm going to pause here and see if we have any questions or anything that we want to dive deeper into here.
Awesome, folks. Thanks so much for taking the time to learn more about what we're up to here. If you do have any questions, comments, feedback, these sort of things, this is a time to ask. And also, if you do have any requests, right? Are there any particular pieces of insight or whatnot that maybe we can dig into as it relates to AssetMule, but ABM and these sort of tactics? So we'd love to hear that, because we're always trying to make these as exciting and as informative as possible. So
I've got one other use case that I think could be interesting for folks here, that I've seen people use this ABM landing page for already beyond the targeted ads and the outbound to named accounts. And that's this new inbound led outbound thing that we're hearing about, right? So for those who are not familiar with inbound led outbound, it really started picking up, let's say, the second half of 2024. And I think it's going to be another one of those really powerful strategies for 2025. So, if we talk about ABM, ABM, as I mentioned, is a great strategy because you're sort of focusing in on those core accounts that tend to have a lot of success with your product and bring a lot of value in terms of their conversions and the revenue that they bring to the business, and upgrades and expansions in their usage of your sort of product space, right? But one of the things that sometimes is missing from an ABM strategy is knowing if all of those accounts are currently in market for your solution, right? So that's where inbound led outbound comes into play. And the way that it works is there's these tools out there. I'll name a few that I know, but there's a couple others probably out there as well. RB2B is one of them. Vector is another one that's really interesting, and I'd recommend taking a look at. And then Warmly is another one. And what they do is they essentially track traffic that's coming to your website and identify the contact level people that are on your website or visiting your website. So you can actually see who they are, what company they're with, their title, and use that to inform maybe some outreach, some warmer outbound than just going cold outbound, right? So what you may see with some of these tools is even beyond your ABM named account list, there are people that are visiting your website that match the criteria, right? They're this right type of company, they're the right persona. They're just not on your named account list today for one reason or another. They didn't make the top 50, the top 100, but they fit the criteria. And being able to quickly spin up one of those ABM landing pages, right? Um, and add their logo, their company logo, uh, and then drive targeted ads, almost like retargeting, right, to them since they visited your site, uh, driving traffic to that page, and that means, but also then doing, as I mentioned, a warmer outreach, right? You know that they visited the site, you know that they're aware of you, that they're at least interested enough that they checked out the site. It's worth it to sort of pull one of those pages together and do that outbound from your SDR team and your sales team. So I'm interested in seeing folks obviously use this for the standard ABM use case, right? Targeting ads to their named accounts, driving traffic to the page, doing the SDR and the AE outbound to those named accounts, but also being able to spin up these pages on the fly as interesting people that meet your ideal customer profile visit your website, right? I think that's a really, really interesting use case for this as well.
Awesome. Well, I think I don't see any comments or questions, so maybe we'll go ahead and wrap up for today.
Yeah, and George, maybe if you haven't done it already, one other thing to add to the comment list here, because I know it will live on LinkedIn, is the link to the actual template
Yep.
from our website. So, we're constantly releasing new templates to our AssetMule template library, and we don't just release them into our product, but we also feature them on our website in the templates section. So, if the ABM landing page use case got your attention, definitely check out the page and learn more about it. And you can see that sort of scroll through of it. But also check out the rest of our templates. We have tons of templates, from interactive one pagers to templates for outbound, for follow-up, for case studies and competitive pages, and new feature launches, proposals, all kinds of things. We really want AssetMule to be your go-to place, your one-stop shop for all sales assets, and even now, as you can see, marketing assets as well. So keep an eye on that template library. Follow us on LinkedIn, and we'll continue to announce new templates in the weeks ahead. So keep a pulse on what we're working on here, and let us know if there are assets and templates that you want to see in the library that don't exist yet today.
All right, awesome. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Hopefully you got that latest template that I added the URL to in the comments. There's quite a few other resources in there for you folks out there who this is your first time attending one of these office hours. Thank you so much for breaking out the time from your busy schedules to do so. Also, if you are a repeat offender and have come to these, thank you. I'm glad that these are helpful. If you are not a user of AssetMule, you can go ahead and check it out. It's completely free. You go to assetmule.ai, and there's a completely free plan to kick the tires on it and see if you like it. If you do, awesome. Would love to hear why. If you don't, that's okay too, and would love to learn what was kind of falling short there. Whether it was our messaging, was it the product that did not like feel and deliver the value that we are speaking to or promising here. So all these things we'd love to know. We're a small team. We're founders. We're constantly out there learning. Yeah, I would argue that unless you're, I don't know, some multinational large organization, you as the founding team or leadership team should be constantly out there doing this kind of research and talking to folks out there. So really, really appreciate it. As again, we're pretty hands-on, so any insights, good or bad, or lukewarm, neutral, we'd love to learn. So also, we are constantly putting content out there on YouTube, LinkedIn, and so on. And we spend a lot of time and resources on that. Here we make everything in house here, so it's also a craft and an art for us. So if you are enjoying the content, go ahead and click on the follow button, and we'd love that. We'd also love to hear, what kind of content you're enjoying by likes and shares and stuff, if you feel inspired to do so. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, we got a couple hundred videos and adding more every day on our YouTube channel. So definitely go ahead and click on subscribe and engage with the content you enjoy. Because as we all know at this point in 2020, basically 2025, if you enjoy this content, engage with it, like it, share it, etc. Other people can then get access to it, as we all know. So. Yeah, I think that we'll go ahead and wrap up. Thank you so much for taking the time once again to get to know us, and have a great day.